Welcome to the Zodiac chat line for our full moon in Sagittarius show. I am your host, Tanae, and of course, the lovely Cassie is here with me.
Hello.
Girl, hi. Welcome. Here we are, continuing to make it another day.
Another day on this beautiful spinning rock.
During Gemini season, which is becoming increasingly more Gemini season. I mean, I think it's exactly what we expected. I don't even want to say unhinged because like, duh. It's
Chaotic.
mutable air. Exactly what we would be expecting. A lot of chatter, not some truths, some lies. Twitter fingers, all of those things. Anyway, we have our full moon coming up this week, on the 11th of June. I'm okay, guys, I promise. Anyway, the sun is currently living in Gemini, and as I said, the full moon in Sagittarius will be on June 11th. Mercury is in watery Cancer. We can, emotional verbal outbursts. Venus found its home once again in Taurus. That happened on the 6th of June. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is such a pleasant placement that we need right now. Okay. We need this placement. Go touch some grass, find something pretty. Mars is in Leo, but only until the 17th of June. Then it will move into Virgo. We have Jupiter in Cancer, boom, 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 on the 9th of June. That is our big topic. We will talk about that a little bit later. Saturn, of course, is in Aries. We are witnessing that now. Please don't let your ego check your karma. Uranus is still in Taurus. Neptune is also in Aries. Pluto is still in Aquarius. However, we are still in that retrograde at least until October. So interesting. We are watching the collective decide what kind of collective we are going to be. And the North Node is in Pisces. But
So we're all a little delusional about it.
I'm here for it. Um, but one thing we are not delusional about is that it is what? June, and happy Pride to all my
Pew,
Alphabet
pew, pew,
Mafia fellow brethren, sistren, they, thems, the
I
girls, the boys,
heard
the queens.
I I heard somebody on the on a podcast I was listening to that was pride focused refer to the LGBTQIA community as the gays and the theys.
Mhm.
And I was like, that's a
Well,
cute little phrase.
you know,
Not mine, but I love it.
yeah, you know,
I love a good
everybody
rhyme.
included in that. Okay, everybody, pick your letter or letters if you want to be multiple letters. I'm old school, just the L over here, but hey, it is what it is. But great for you guys. A happy Pride history fact. Pride Stonewall, June 1969, was the first uprising that the gays said, "We not doing this no more." Police would be raiding gay bars all throughout. This was in New York City. And I believe Marsha P. Johnson, who is an amazing, God bless her soul, or goddess bless her soul, actually, trans activist who was a major leader within the gay community and within the Stonewall Uprising. First Pride March was in 1970, the following year, to commemorate Stonewall. And ever since then, we have watched LGBTQ plus IA rights continue to grow. It's very strange that we have to ask for the same rights just because we love who we love. But here we are. And it's really none of your business. Like, just let people be happy. You know what I'm saying?
Right?
So yeah, happy Pride.
Yeah, happy
Um,
pride.
Also, we love the young people. Shout out to Deja Fox, who is running for Congress in Arizona. Deja has an amazing story. Raised in Tucson, Arizona, with a single mother. She was homeless at one point because her mom was not able to care for her, but Deja worked, finished high school, graduated, also went to Columbia University, and she fought for good sex education in her school district, better sex education in her school district. I think the curriculum hadn't been changed since 1980, which was right about before I was born or right after I was born. So long time ago, right? But she is also known as the youngest presidential congressional staffer at 19. She was on Kamala Harris's campaign for her influencer strategy. And we could tell Kamala Harris's social media campaign was actually on point. But Deja
Hmm.
is running for Congress in Arizona. So if you are in Arizona, please vote for her. She is 25, graduated from Columbia. She is ready to change the world at 25. Just remember that at 25. And that's what we need. We need the young people who care about the future of this country, who really know that they have a vested interest in this country, and who were born into a world that was environmentally bad, financially bad, just a lot of conflict, and they were never really given a chance to see a better future, and so they can see that for themselves. So I am looking forward to all of that generation really, really stepping up and changing the world. They seem very, very political, and I'm here for it. Also, if you are in the state of Georgia, we do have a special elections here in Georgia. It is the Georgia Public Service Commission, makes decisions about energy and electricity in Georgia. There are 8 candidates for 2 seats, November 4th. And then what were you going to talk about?
I was gonna say, if you're a, skim milk colored person, get your ass out on June 14th and protest, Go show the community around you that you're not here for the bullshit, okay?
Capital.
Mm-hmm.
Not here for it.
No.
And finally, in some amazing news, shout out to the first American to win in 10 years, the French Open, Miss Coco Gauff, 21 years old. Yes, ma'am. She hit that French Open, won it in 2 sets. She did lose the first set, but she won the second and the third in dominating fashion. Congratulations, girl. And the last person to do it was, of course, the GOAT of tennis, none other than Serena Williams in 2015. So shout out to Black women still dominating in sports. But what we really want to talk to you about is the biggest transit. We have been talking about a lot of these outer planets have been making huge shifts from the signs they were in for, usually about a year and a half. It just depends, longer for some, to new signs. And now we have Jupiter moving into me and Cassie's favorite sign, Cancer, because why wouldn't we want Jupiter in Cancer? Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. That's a happy place. Jupiter is our planet of expansion and luck, normally or generally ruled by Sagittarius. So that's why you see them Sagittarius, they get lucky. They get lucky. They be wild, but they get lucky. Okay. But moving into Cancer can focus on some compassion, some nurturing, home. It's a really mothering type of vibe,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
emotional healing, intuition.
All those good things. Yeah. It's interesting looking at where things are right now because we have a lot of Aries energy still. We're kind of stepping away from the Gemini energy, like Mercury's already moved into Cancer. The sun will move into Cancer on the 20th of June. Um, we've got, yeah, and now like with Jupiter in Cancer, and Cancer and Aries they're not friends as far as the zodiac signs go. They're square each other, which means they are at odds with one another. And I was thinking about this before the show. It's like Aries is the energy of what the child wants, and Cancer is the energy mom wants. And those two things sometimes are aligned, but sometimes are just throwing out there with Jupiter being, think about what mom wants more than what, mother your inner child, parent your inner child if you don't feel comfortable with the idea of mothering that inner child.
Mm,
But don't succumb to the whims of your childish self and your
very.
ego.
that is the perfect advice because we are like you can witness anytime you succumb to those childish impulses, because that's usually what children are, quite impulsive. Um, the consequences are never fun and never pretty. And that it's water against fire. And sometimes water can just,
Yeah.
you know, it
Yeah.
just takes one little
It's
tidal wave to knock that little fire out. And Aries fire isn't a sustainable fire. That's the difference. Like Aries fire is a quick light of a match. It is it is not Leo or Sag where it could sustain itself. Aries, Aries is just, and as Cassie said, when you have signs that square each other, it's never a good, it's never an easy dynamic. It does tend to like be a dichotomy in a lot of ways, and it fights within itself. And so, having cardinal water versus cardinal fire, there has to be a balance because both are very dominating type of elements that can
yeah,
drown you or burn you alive. So,
right.
you know,
And though, we are predisposed to siding with Cancer here because, yes, we both have prominent Cancer placements and feel very deeply and tend to be really empathetic. So, like, we vibe with Cancer energy. But lest we get it, twisted, Cancers can be very self-centered and moody in their ways too. So, like, again, like, thinking about how maybe those two things don't, it's a challenge, but challenging things can work. And staying, somewhere between this is what I want, this is what I want for everyone. Where do the Venn diagram like cross? And am I, when I'm leaning into my mother instinct of like what is best for the group, do I know for sure what is best for the group? Have I listened to the group, or am I just acting based on my own want to control the group? Because that's like shadow Cancer energy, and especially I think in moments like these where it's very volatile and there's so much like um there's so many competing ideologies that we come across in our social media, in the news, and some of them are just absolutely abhorrent and seem inexcusable. But like trying to stay rooted in compassion
mm,
and
mm,
generosity and care and like the best of the Cancer energy. And really, I think a good thing to lean into is Venus and Taurus right now, too.
mhm,
That's a nice little, like, not either Aries or Cancer energy of like, make things that are beautiful, use your art for good, rest when you need to, touch grass, like all of the good, loving things of
yeah,
Taurus, I think will help you bring out the best of the Jupiter and Cancer energy and, also stay in touch with yourself, the best of
yeah,
the Aries energy too.
yeah.
But it's challenging. It's
I
challenging
mean,
times.
yeah, I I have that Cancer Aries energy within me, so it's a very, very interesting, yeah, especially because my emotions are what they are. Uh, um, I very much agree with a lot of the compassion and the nurturing energy that Cancer brings, and it wouldn't hurt us to lean into that more, because you just never know what other people are going through, and you never know, um, just just being an understanding human to another person, and whether they were present or not in our lives, we all were created by a mother in some way. And even delving into that relationship for yourself and how this is affecting this transit for you. Some of those feelings about your motherhood and how you were raised may come up, and that is something for you to kind of really understand and how you exhibit that energy within your chart. And so we do talk about a lot. We want you to always know your time of birth. It'll be helpful because it gets you your rising sign, and that is how your chart is set up. And I think you've heard us mention it here before. But knowing where your rising sign is and how your chart kind of falls into place will let you know where Cancer will be in your chart when Jupiter transits Cancer for this next year and a half. And so we encourage you to look it up. We shout out to astrotem.com if you want to check it out, or there are other things, not CoStar. But Channy does a great app as well. But find out your rising sign, and then you'll know where Jupiter is transiting your how Jupiter is transiting your chart in Cancer for this transit. Y'all know what I mean. So with that said, we have kind of come up with just some quick notes for some of the rising signs. And before we do that, I'm going to give you a quick, actually, no, I'm not kidding. So we're going to just
Psych.
we're just gonna start, you know how we do on here. It's us. We gonna do whatever. We just trying to get you the best information. Okay, so I'm gonna do for the rising signs. So this is rising signs. I want you guys to be clear. We're not talking about your sun sign. We are talking about your rising sign, the sun that was on the horizon when you were born, the sign that was on the horizon when you were born. And in your chart is going to always represent your first house. That is what your rising sign is going to represent, your first house. I will give the simplest example since it's quick. Aries is always going to be is the first house in astrology. So if you are Aries rising, Cancer is going to be in your fourth house because it will go Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer. That's how you can tell where Cancer will be in your chart. Simple. All right. So, of course, I'm going to do fire and air because, well, that's what we do. And Cancer is going to do earth and water. And so to start it all off, again, Aries rising. If you are an Aries rising, good luck on you. Your chart's the way it's supposed to be. Okay. Great. Good job, guys. Okay. I'm just kidding. But those of you with Aries rising Cancer, Jupiter transiting Cancer will be in your fourth house of family, home, living space, and intimate place in your chart. So look to find some luck there.
If you're a Taurus rising, Jupiter in Cancer will be transiting your third house, which rules communication, short trips, your relationship with your siblings, the stuff that the sign of Gemini is usually associated with. So as Jupiter transits Cancer, you can look for good luck and happy inspiration in those areas of your life.
If you are a Gemini rising, Cancer is transiting your second house. Good for you, because what? Money. That is your material possessions, how you work with material possessions. So use that for luck, which that means get your money, but watch your money. Okay.
That's real. So if you are a Cancer rising, congratulations to you. Jupiter is transiting your first house, your house of self, your literal physical body and being. So this is a great time to love on yourself, take good care of yourself, revisit any of your self-care routines, and, find some joyful things to do for yourself.
Here for it. So, if you are a Leo rising, Cancer is transiting your 12th house of your subconscious spiritual development, and good time for reflection, introspection, some emotional vulnerability, and emotional healing. Great time to shed outdated patterns. So it's a very introspective, but that's a great introspective place to go.
Hmm. Yeah. If you are a Virgo rising, then Jupiter in Cancer is going to be hitting your 11th house of your community, friendships, and sort of, um, what groups you're part of, right? Peer groups and large scale groups. So, put yourself out there. Have you been what have you been thinking about running for or whatever? Like you might find some blessings on that path. So yeah, go for it.
All right. Now, Libra rising. Sorry that your chart is opposite, but hey, here we are. Cancer is going to be transiting your 10th house of social status, life purpose, and legacy. Nurture and care for your career. Reevaluate some career goals. Find a more supportive and emotionally fulfilling type of work and an emotional supportive network.
Hmm. If you are a Scorpio rising, then Jupiter in Cancer is going to be hitting your ninth house of philosophy and travel and higher learning. If you've been thinking about going back to school or, you know, taking a trip abroad or just expanding your mind in some way, this can be a very fruitful time to do that. So give it a freaking whirl.
I like that. If you are a Sagittarius rising, I think this is going to be interesting. One, because Jupiter does normally rule Sagittarius, but this will be Cancer will be transiting your eighth house of death and rebirth and transformation and karmic energy. There can be powerful life events that are a catalyst for your own personal growth. Make sure any type of shared resources you are really being careful with because any anything it will be expanded. Everything will be bigger with Jupiter. So just be careful with those resources. I think, careful not to overspend. That would probably be the same thing with the second house too. But, you know, shared resources, just manage them intuitively.
I feel like this could be a really powerful transit for Sagittarius
Hmm.
rising people.
Hmm.
Yeah, so watch yourselves. Okay, if you are a Capricorn rising, it is coming in your seventh house of partnerships and relationships. So, are you looking for a new boo or hoping to improve an existing relationship or maybe starting a new business partnership type of venture? You can find and hopefully will find blessings over the next year in those type of in close interpersonal partnerships.
Right. If you are an Aquarius rising, Cancer will be transiting your sixth house of health, daily life, routines, job schedules. Look for some good mind body connections, healthy habits, diets, an intuitive approach to your daily life and works. You may want to stick to familiar routines. You may want to be of service to others. But I really like the mind body connection. Like, this is a good time to really, really nurture your health and even try like a new workout or something like that. But this is a very much nurture the whole being. That's at the sixth house. Virgo.
Right. And last but never least,
Never.
Pisces rising. If that is your placement, then Jupiter in Cancer will be transiting your fifth house of joy, sex, creativity, art, all the funnest things. So, you know, pick up a paintbrush, go grind on a stranger. Like, follow the joyful, loving, sunny impulses that you have because hopefully blessings will follow them. So,
Yeah.
Jupiter is never a negative force in your chart or in the skies. It is always coming with blessings, even in retrograde. But anytime a planet is exalted, it's just extra fun and
Yeah.
happy. And Jupiter has been in Gemini, which is its least favorite position for like a year and some, and like that tracks. If I'm being totally honest, that tracks.
Yeah.
So I'm keeping my fingers crossed for some good
Listen,
stuff.
you and me is geeked up about this Jupiter and Cancer because I know I am. I don't know where to go, but I know. Right there, this one right here. Mm, mm.
Mhm.
Can't wait. Can't wait. Y'all, we got something planned next year though. when it leaves, but we ain't gonna tell you right now, but I'm just saying it's gonna be big. Y'all don't even know. But anyway. But we hope you enjoy just a little bit of snippet. We again encourage you, know your rising sign, put your time of birth into a chart generator, whatever you want to call them. I don't know, whatever, birth chart generator. And it will tell you, it'll either say rising or ascendant. Those are interchangeable words, they are the same thing. If you certain charts will say listed as ASC, which stands for ascendant, that is the first sign, and it could be, sometimes it like your chart it moves just depending on the time you were born. So, but just look for it. You'll be able to find Cancer very easily where it is. And, we wish you the best of luck in all of your houses. Everybody's going to have some great luck with Jupiter and Cancer. But put that focus on there. And I've always told people, especially in this transit, like whatever you really, really like emotionally deep down really want, like go put your energy into that with that house for this transit. I think you're going to be happy.
Hell
And
yeah.
if you want to talk to us about it because it's still there, you can hit us up on the Zodiac chat line 313-416-9541. It's Detroit up in here all day, every day. Like that's never a question. So again, 313-416-9541. Please text us. We're not going to answer
Yeah.
the phone, but you can text us and we will respond. I promise you. You could get paragraphs. We could chat to you for days. Cassie and I like to talk. Okay. Cassie's a great texter and a writer. Okay. She is. I'm with her. I'm not as, but yes.
And I'm about to have Jupiter in my third house. Let's go. Let me
Let's
give you some
go.
good information.
So once again, of course, happy Pride to everyone. Um, you know,
Can I say something?
yeah.
I'm gonna call an audible. I'm glad you
Oh,
brought it back to Pride because
calling out of my
in
life.
honor of Pride, uh, I would like to just remind everyone that Jose Andre Rodriguez Hernandez Romero was disappeared by ICE. He is a gay Venezuelan makeup artist and hairdresser who did everything right in the US, waited his turn, took his appointment, and they put him on a plane and took him to a country where he is not from. And the you know, immigrant defense council, I'm so sorry. I will put in the show notes the proper name of the organization. They are fighting his case on his behalf for free. Nobody has been able to get a wellness check on this man. We do not know if this man is alive, but like he had tattoos that said mom and dad. And ICE decided that that meant he was a member of a Venezuelan gang and they disappeared him to an El Salvadorian prison. And this is happening not just to him, but to people all over the country. And this shit is fucking terrible and being done in our names. And let's not let his case fucking just go off the radar. So that's all. If you feel so inclined, I will drop their website or find a local immigrant rights organization in your state or in your area. Find a watch group to be part of, whatever calls to you. If you feel about that, like many of us do,
For sure.
there are ways to put pressure on the system, and there are successes that have already been had, but his is not one of them yet. So,
I love
just that.
that. Second audible shout out to Kaleidoscope, which is a gay youth group organization here in Atlanta, Georgia. I met the two women, Nicole and Margot, who run this organization. So please support them. We love everybody here, but this is a very black, very gay, very pride, uh, very, very okay. Right. Okay,
Very.
so all right, right down to the what you guys really want to hear about. Lovely with my matching shirt, Green Witch Oracle.
Oh, I'm in green too. Look at us.
Discover real secrets behind of botanical magic. We love this. This is Sherilyn Darcy's lovely back. You want to see up more green. These are the elements, in case you wanted to know. Um, oof, I didn't want to lie to you, but these are the four elements. And here is
I
uh,
always forget too. I think it's air, And then
Water, fire, earth is the other
water
line.
is one of the upside down ones, though.
Yeah, I think it's air, fire, water, earth. But don't get me. I'll listen. Don't know for sure. But also, so it sometimes there's fruit, there is herbs, there are flowers. There's just a handful in here. This is actually pretty cool. But okay,
Oh, what'd you fling out?
no, you tell me because if it happens again, I'll tell you if you're right. You
Okay.
let me know
All
when you're
right.
right.
All right.
You know
Go
what?
for it.
So what'd you fling out, Cassie? I'm a oof. Okay, no, but I'll tell you later outside the chat. Okay, we have clarity, which represents the carrots, and it does have Virgo energy, and this is actually card number one.
Oh, well, well,
So,
well.
okay, good, good. Bear with me, guys. Here we go. Oh, it's like, yeah, we'll put it over there. Okay.
Ooh.
Hold on, sorry. At a certain age,
I love drawing the first card of a
I know.
deck. That's
I
always.
listen. Okay, so the quote for Carrot is when people will not weed their own minds, they are apt to be overrun by nettles. Ooh,
Ooh.
Horace Walpole said that. Well, Walpole, interesting how that was the first statement. New
Oof.
ideas, breakthroughs, and increases in finances and resources are all indicated, and you should trust your own judgment. There is a strong chance of triumph over a difficult challenge and the opportunity for sudden growth in what you are currently undertaking. Relationships will be focused on the physical with lust, sex, and passion high on the agenda. Be careful of overthinking, self sabotage, and roadblocks placed by others. Cultivation, preferably grown from seed in a final position, and transplanting seedling is not recommended. Carrots like a cool environment but do not tolerate frost and will not grow well in tropical areas. Plant in late summer in cooler areas and early summer for more temperate places. Ensure the soil is rich, friable, deep, and free draining. Carrots may be harvested at any size you require. Many of the smaller and more rounded varieties can be grown in containers. Magical correspondences, uses, fertility, passion, vision, independence, grounding, deities, Bahara and Mercury, celestial Mars, astrological sign of Virgo. Here is a clarity spell for you. This oil will help clear your mind to get to the truth of matters. It will also open your vision during divination and dream work when experiencing creative roadblocks. Mix together equal amounts of carrot seed oil and full moon water. Place a dab on your third eye before meditating or working on an issue for which you are seeking deeper understanding.
Oh, well, well.
Yeah. So
Okay. I
there you
like that. In
Yeah.
keeping with all the Jupiter and Cancer
Listen. Look at that. Look at
juicy
how cool that is.
energy. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Okay, so it's definitely so Earth is definitely this one.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we were right. Air, fire, water, earth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it said we about to get it. That's what I
Yeah.
heard. What you hear? That's what I heard.
Yeah. If you keep your third eye clear and keep your mind free of
Wait,
weeds.
let's. I'm about to say, you know what? Because we need to hear that one more time. I want y'all to hear that one more time. It said, when people will not weed their own minds, they are apt to be overrun by nettles. If y'all don't know, you don't want to be overrun by nettles. And we've always said, do your research, get your own resources, like use your own mind. If they, if you don't use your own mind, it's very easy for somebody to influence that. So just saying. Um, we don't have to agree, but just think for yourself. just, just
That's
saying,
it.
just saying. Well, with that said, once again, happy Pride. We are sending all the thoughts to that
Jose.
Jose's
Jose.
family. Sorry, I forgot. Jose. We are definitely
Jose Andre Hernandez Romero.
their family and to them, and that they are being protected in the best sort of way. um, possible, and that they get to return back to their life that they did legally. Um, Weird how this works. I don't know, guys. I think we are definitely in a time where it's time for us to just continue to know that like what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And like there's really no gray area in a lot of this. It is
Yeah.
very, very black and white.
The only gray comes in what's legal. And like if a law is unjust, do you have to obey that law?
Black people didn't. We said we gonna drink out of wherever fountain we want to. Just like at the end of the day, compassion, empathy, and humanity will get us a lot further. We are all just on this fireball of a rock, trying to make it work and do the best that we can. Um, Lean on your community, lean on your collective, support, support, support. I cannot encourage that more than anything. Everybody needs support. You need support. It is find your tribe, work with your tribe, help those who you think you never know when it could be you. So for everybody who didn't think so, keep that shit in mind. Anyways, happy effing pride. Cassie girl, I love you. Y'all, we will be back for the what? New
New
moon in
moon.
Cancer show in a couple weeks. But please enjoy this full moon. Go outside.
Make
It's
some
it's
moon water.
Sagittarius. Maybe dance around a campfire. Shit, I don't know. Just making it up.
Put your crystals out
Um,
there.
yeah, tarot cards, whatever you want to do.
Yeah,
But thank you for joining us as always. Cassie, I love you, girl.
I love you
We out
too.
of here, y'all. One love. Peace.